Hello, Shalom. Welcome to day 51 of Daily Bread. We'll be in Exodus 12, 1 Samuel chapter 12, Psalms 57, Proverbs 20, and Luke chapter 2. We'll be reading out of the Scriptures, 2009 version, chapter 12, on page 68. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aaron in the land of Mizraim, saying, hold up here, the right glasses. There we go. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aaron in the land of Mizraim, saying, this new moon is the beginning of new moons for you. It is the first new moon of the year for you. Speak to all the congregation of Israel, saying, on the 10th day of this new moon, each one of them is to take for himself a lamb, according to the house of his father, a lamb for a household. And if the household is too small for a lamb, let him and his neighbor next to his house take it according to the number of the beings, according to each man's need According to each man's need, you make your count for the lamb. The lamb be a perfect one, a year-old male. Take it from the sheep or from the goats. And you shall keep it until the 14th day in the same new moon. Then all the assembly of the congregation of Israel shall slay it between the evenings. And they shall take some of the blood and put it on the two doorposts and on the lintels of the houses where they eat it. And they shall eat the flesh on that night, roasted in fire, with unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Do not eat it raw, nor boil it at all with water, but roast it in fire, its head with its legs and its inward parts. Do not leave of it until morning, and what remains of it until morning you are to burn with fire. And this is how you eat it: your loins girded, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And you shall eat it in haste. It is the Pesach of Yahweh, Passover. And I shall pass through the land of Mizraim on that night, and I shall strike all the firstborn in the land of Mizraim, both man and beast, and on all the mighty ones of Mizraim. I shall execute judgment. I am Yahweh. And the blood shall be a sign for you on the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I shall pass over you, and let the plague not come on you to destroy you when I strike the land of Mizraim. And this day shall come to you a remembrance, become a day, and this day shall become to you a remembrance, and you shall celebrate it as a festival to Yahweh throughout your generations. Celebrate it as a festival, an everlasting law. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. Indeed, on the first day you cause leaven to cease in your house. For whoever eats leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that being shall be cut off from Israel. A kingdom has rules, and on the first day is a set-apart gathering, and on the 7th day you have a set-apart gathering. No work at all is done on them, only that which is eaten by every being. That alone is prepared by you. And you shall guard the festival of matzah, unleavened bread. For on this same day I brought your divisions out of the land of Mizraim, and you shall guard this day throughout your generations, an everlasting law. In the first month of the 14th day of the new moon, in the evening you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the new moon in the evening. For 7 days no leaven is to be found in your houses. For if anyone eats what is leavened, the same being shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether sojourner or native of the land. Do not eat that which is leavened in your dwellings, or you are to eat unleavened bread. And Moshe called for all the elders of Israel and said to them, Go out and take lambs for yourself, according to your clans, and slay the Pesach. And you shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the doorsteps with the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out the door of his house until morning. Yahweh shall pass on to smite the Mizrahites, and shall see the blood on the lintel and the 2 doorstops. And Yahweh shall pass over the door, and not allow the destroyer to come into your houses to smite you. And you shall guard this word as a law for you and your sons forever. And it shall be when you come to the land which Yahweh gives you, as he promised that you shall guard this service. And it shall be when your children say to you, What does this service mean to you? Then you shall say, It is the Pesach, slaughtering of Yahweh, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Mizraim, when he smote the Mizrahites and delivered our households. And the people bowed their heads and did obedience. And the children of Israel went away and did so. As Yahweh had commanded Moshe and Aaron, so they did. And it came to be at midnight that Yahweh struck all the firstborn in the land of Mizraim, from the firstborn of Pharaoh, who sat on his throne, to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of livestock. And Pharaoh rose up in the night. He called all of his servants and all the Mizraims, and there was a great cry in Mizraim, Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not a dead one. Then he called for Moshe and Aaron by night, and said, Arise, go out from the midst of my people, both you and the children of Israel. Go, serve Yahweh as you have said. Take both your flocks and your herds, as you have said, and go. Then you shall bless me too. And the Mizraims were strong on the people, to hasten to send them away out of the land. And they said, We are all dying. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, having their kneading bowls bound up in their garments on their shoulders. And the children of Israel had done according to the word of Moshe. And they did ask the Mizrahites, from the Mizrahites, objects of silver and objects of gold and garments. And Yahweh gave the people favor in the eyes of the Mizrahites, so that they gave them what they asked. And they plundered the Mizrahites. And the children of Israel set out from Ramses to Sukkot, about 600,000 men on foot, besides the little ones. And a mixed multitude went up with them too, also flocks and herds, very much livestock. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they had brought out of Mizraim, for it was not leavened, since they were driven out of Mizraim, and not been able to delay, nor had they prepared food for themselves. And the sojourn of the children of Israel who lived in Mizraim was 430 years. And it came to be at the end of 430 years, on the same day it came to be that all the divisions of Yahweh went out from the land of Mizraim. It is a night of watches unto Yahweh for bringing them out of the land of Mizraim. This is the night of watches unto Yahweh and all the children of Israel throughout their generations. And Yahweh said to Moshe and Aaron, This is the law of Pesach. No son of the foreigner is to eat of it. But any servant a man has bought for silver, when you have circumcised him, then let him eat of it. A settler and a hired servant does not eat of it. It is eaten in one house. You are not to take any of the flesh outside the house, nor are you to break any bone of it. All the congregation of Israel are to perform it. And when a sojourns with you, and you shall perform the Pesach to Yahweh, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and perform it. And he shall be a native to the land. But let no uncircumcised eat of it. There is one Torah for the native born, and for the sojourner who sojourns among you. And all the children of Israel did as Yahweh commanded Moshe and Aaron, so they did so. And it came to be on that same day that Yahweh brought the children out of the land of Mizraim according to their divisions. End of Exodus chapter 12. On to Samuel chapter 12. And Samuel said to all Israel, Look, I have listened to your voice in all that you said to me, and I have set a sovereign over you. And now, look, the sovereign is walking before you, and I am old and gray. And look, my sons are with you, and I have walked before you from my youth to this day. Look, here I am, witness against me before Yahweh and before his anointed. Whose ox have I taken, or whose donkey have I taken, or whom have I oppressed, whom I have abused, or from whose hand have I received any bribe with which to blind my eyes? Then I restore it to you. And they said, You have not oppressed us, or abused us, nor have you taken any bribe from anyone's hand. So he said to them, Yahweh is witness against you, and his anointed is witness today, that you have found naught in my hand. And they answered, He is witness. And Samuel said to the people, It is Yahweh who appointed Moshe and Aaron, and who brought your fathers up from the land of Mizraim. And now stand still, so that I judge you before Yahweh concerning all the righteous acts of Yahweh, which he did to you and your fathers. When Jacob had come to Mizraim, and your fathers cried out to Yahweh, then Yahweh sent Moshe and Aaron, who brought your fathers out of Mizraim, and made them dwell in this place. But they forgot Yahweh, their Elohim, so he sold them into the hand of Sisera, commander of the army of Hazor, and into the hand of the Philistines, and into the hand of the sovereign of Moab. And they fought against them. And they cried out to Yahweh, and said, We have sinned, because we have forsaken Yahweh, and served the Baals and the Astor. And now deliver us from the hands of our enemies, and we serve you. And Yahweh sent Yehubelah and Barad and Yippath and Samuel, and delivered you out of the hand of your enemies round about, and you dwelt in safety. And when you saw that Nahash, sovereign of the children of the Ammon, came against you, you said to me, No, let a sovereign reign over us, when Yahweh, your Elohim, was your sovereign. And now, here is the sovereign whom you have chosen, and whom you have asked. And see, Yahweh has set a sovereign over you. If you fear Yahweh, and shall serve him, and obey his voice, and not rebel against the command of Yahweh, then both you and the sovereign who reigns over you shall follow Yahweh your Elohim. But if you do not obey the voice of Yahweh, and shall rebel against the mouth of Yahweh, and then the hand of Yahweh shall be against you, as it was against your fathers. And now stand and see this great matter which Yahweh does before your eyes. Is today not the wheat harvest? Let me call to Yahweh, so that he sends thunder and rain. Know then and see that your evil is great, which you have done in the eyes of Yahweh, in asking for yourselves a sovereign. And Samuel called to Yahweh, and Yahweh sent thunder and rain that day. And all the people greatly feared Yahweh and Samuel. And all the people said to Samuel, Pray for your servants to Yahweh your Elohim, that we do not die, for we have added to all of our sins this evil of asking for ourselves a sovereign. And Samuel said to the people, Do not fear, you have done all this evil. Only do not turn aside from following Yahweh, and you shall serve Yahweh with all your heart. And do not turn aside after worthless matters, which do not profit or deliver, for they are worthless. For Yahweh would not cast away his people for his great namesake, seeing it has pleased Yahweh to make you his people. Also, as for me, far be it from me that I should sin against Yahweh in ceasing to pray for you. But I shall teach you the good and the straight way. Only fear Yahweh, and you shall serve him in truth with all your heart. For consider what marvels he has done for you. But if you persist in doing evil, both you and your sovereign are consumed. Psalms 57. Show me favor, O Elohim, show me favor. For in you my being is taking refuge, and in the shadow of your wings I take refuge. Until destruction passes by, I cry out to the Most High Elohim, to El, who is perfecting all matters for me. He sends from the heavens and saves me. He reproaches the one who would swallow me up, Salah. Elohim sends forth his loving commitment and his truth. My being is in the midst of lions. I lie among those who breathe fire, whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongue is a sharp sword. Be exalted, O Elohim, above the heavens. Let your esteem be above all the earth. They had prepared a net for my footsteps. My being was bowed down. They have dug a pit for me. They fell into the midst of it, Salah. My heart is firm, O Elohim. My heart is firm. I sing and praise. Awake my esteem. Awake harp and lyre. I awake the dawn. I praise you among the people, O Yahweh. I sing to you among the nations, for your loving commitment is great to the heavens, up to the heavens, and your truth unto the clouds. Be exalted above the heavens, O Elohim. Let your esteem be above all the earth. Proverbs 20 on page 747. Wine is a scoffer, a strong drink, a brawler, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise. The dread of a sovereign is like the roaring of a lion, Whoever provokes him sins against his own life. For a man to cease from strife is esteemed, but every fool bursts out. The lazy one does not plow after the autumn. At harvest time he inquires, there is none. Counsel in the heart of a man is like deep water, but a man of understanding draws it up. Most men proclaim each his own loving commitment, but who finds a trustworthy man? The righteous man walks in his integrity. His children are blessed after him. A sovereign who sits on the throne of judgment is scattering all evil with his eyes. Who says, I have cleansed my heart, I am purged of my sin? Differing weights and differing measures, both are abomination to Yahweh. Even a child is known by his deeds, whether his work is clear and right. The hearing ear and the seeing eye, Yahweh has made them both. Do not love sleep, lest you become poor. Open your eyes, be satisfied with bread. Evil, evil, cries the buyer. But when he has gone his way, then he boasts. There is gold and multitude of rubies, but the lips of knowledge are a precious vessel. Take the garment of one who is a guarantor for a stranger, and hold it as a pledge when it is for foreigners. Bread gained by deceit might be sweet to a man, but afterward his mouth is filled with gravel. By counsel plans are established, but by wise guidance wage a battle. He who goes about as a slanderer reveals secrets. Therefore do not associate with him. Who speaks smoothly with his lips? Whoever curses his father or his mother, his lamp is put out in deep darkness. An inheritance obtained with greed at the beginning is not blessed at the end. Do not say, I repay evil. Wait for Yahweh, and he saves you. Differing weights are an abomination to Yahweh, and a false scale is not good. The steps of a man are from Yahweh. What does a man know about his own way? It is a snare for a man to say rashly. It is set apart, and only latter to reconsider his vows. A wise servant widows out the wrong, and turns the wheel over them. The spirit of a man is the lamp of Yahweh, searching all his inmost parts. Loving commitment and truth watch over the sovereign, and he shall support his throne by loving commitment. The comeliness of young men is their strength, and the splendor of old men is their gray hair. The blows that wound cleanse away evil and strokes the inner parts of the heart. Luke chapter 2 on page 983. Chapter 1 set the stage with a little bit with John the Immerser Baptist lineage. We're introduced to him, Mary, and John's mom. Obviously, they know each other because they're cousins. So, chapter 2 on page 983. And it came to be in those days that a decree went out from Caesar Augustus for all the world to be registered. This took place as a first registration while Quintus was governor of Caesarea. And all were going to be registered, each one to his own city. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth to Judah, to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house of the lineage of David, to be registered with Miriam, who was engaged to him, being pregnant. And it came to be that while they were there, the days were filled for her to give birth. And she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him up and laid him down in a feeding trough, because there was no room for them in a lodging place. And in the same country there were shepherds living out in the fields, keeping watch over their flock by night. And look, a messenger of Yahweh stood before them, and the glory of Yahweh shone around them, and they were greatly afraid. And the messenger said to them, "Do not be afraid, for look, I bring you good news of joy, great joy, which shall be to all people. Because there was born to you today in the city of David a Savior, who is the Messiah, the Master. And this is the sign to you. You shall find a baby wrapped up, lying in a feeding trough." And suddenly there was with the messenger a crowd of the heavenly host, praising Elohim and saying, "Esteemed Yahweh Elohim in the highest, and earth peace among men, with whom he is pleased." And it came to be, when the messengers had gone away from them into the heaven, that the shepherds said to each other, "Indeed, let us go to Bethlehem and see this matter that has taken place, which the Master has made known to us." And they came in haste and found Miriam and Joseph, and the baby lying in a feeding trough. And having seen, they made known the matter which was spoken to them concerning the child. And all those who heard marveled at the shepherds, said to them. But Miriam kept all these matters concerning them in her heart. And the shepherds returned, boasting and praising Elohim for all they had heard and seen as it was spoken to them. And when 8 days were completed for him to be circumcised, his name was called Yeshua, the name given by the messenger before he was conceived in the womb. And when the days of her cleansing, according to Torah of Moshe, were completed, they brought him to Jerusalem to present him to Yahweh. As had been written in the Torah of Yahweh, every male who opens the womb shall be called set apart to Yahweh. And to give an offering, according to that is said in the Torah of Yahweh, a pair of turtle doves or 2 young pigeons. Leviticus 5:11 and 12:8. And see, there was a man in Jerusalem whose name was Shimon, and this man was righteous and dedicated, looking for a comforting of Israel. And a set-apart spirit was upon him, and it had been revealed to him by the set-apart spirit that he would not see death before he sees the Messiah of Yahweh. Simon. And he came to the spirit into the set-apart place. And as the parents brought in the child Yeshua to do for him according to the usual practice of the Torah, then he took him up in his arms, and blessed Elohim and said, "Now let your servant go in peace, O Master, according to your word. For my eyes have seen your deliverance, which you have prepared before the face of the people, a light for the unveiling of the nations, and the esteem of your people." And Joseph and his mother were marveling at what was said about him. And Simon blessed him and said to Miriam, his mother, "See, this one is set for a fall and a rising of many in Israel, and for a sign spoken against. And a sword shall pierce through your own being also, so as to reveal the thoughts of many hearts. And there was Hannah, a prophetess, a female prophet, a daughter of Peniel, of the tribe of Asher. She was advanced in years and lived with a husband 7 years from her maidenhood. And she was a widow of about 84 years, who did not leave the set apart place, but served Elohim with fasting and prayers day and night. And she, coming in at that moment, gave thanks to Yahweh and spoke of him to all who were waiting for redemption in Jerusalem. And when they had accomplished all matters according to the Torah of Yahweh, they returned to Galilee, to their city Nazareth. And the child grew and became strong in spirit, being filled with wisdom, and the favor of Elohim was upon him. And his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the festival of Pesach. And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem according to the practice of the festival. When they had accomplished the days, as they returned, the child Yeshua stayed behind in Jerusalem, and his parents did not know it. But thinking he must be in a company that went a day's journey, and were seeking him among the relatives and friends. And not having found him, they returned to Jerusalem, seeking him. And it came to be, after 3 days, that they found him in a set-apart place, sitting in the midst of the teachers, both listening to them and asking them questions. And all who heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. And having seen him, they were amazed, and his mother said to him, Son, why have you done this to us? See, your father and I have been anxiously seeking you. And he said to them, Why were you seeking me? Did you not know that I had been in the matters of my father? But they did not understand the word which he had spoken to them. And he went down with them and came to Nazareth, and was subject to them. But his mother kept all these matters in her heart. And Yeshua increased in wisdom and stature and in favor with Elohim and men. Thank you for listening. Shalom. Make it a great day. Read your Bible and talk to the Father.